on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 5.25% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
6.19 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund has belonged to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or on third-party delivery platforms.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch all the shows from your phone, desktop, or tablet. Your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Nate Taylor of The Athletic. He covers the Kansas City Chiefs. He is live in Indianapolis for the Combine. Nate, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. I just told Rob on the other side that, you know, the Combine's starting to combine, man. People starting to talk, and I can't wait to see what the conversations are going to be like tonight in the old restaurants and bars.
Do you ever get time off? I mean, all of January, you're covering the NFL playoffs. You then go to the Super Bowl. You get to come home to unpack, and now you're heading to Indianapolis. You don't get an off season.
You really don't, and especially when, you know, no one's worried about this. In my hometown, which is great because I love you guys. But no one cares when your team goes to 3 straight Super Bowls how my off season goes. So it's totally understandable. That is one of the you know, what do we call them? Icebreakers. That's usually the icebreaker that gets thrown my way the most. Is didn't I just see you? Which is yes, you just saw me. Let's keep chatting. Let's keep figuring out where this journey is going to take us next. But I love Indianapolis. I love coming here. The Combine should always be here because you're just so close. Downtown's not that big. You can bounce from restaurant to restaurant, bar to bar, hotel to hotel, and find somebody who's in this league who is going to tell you something very, very interesting. So if this is the job I have to do, it's a burden that I'm more than willing to carry.
How's St. Elmo's? I've heard a lot about it, but I've never been.
So a bunch of the guys and gals were there last night. A bunch of the guys and gals will be there tonight. The shrimp cocktail, it's a legend for a reason. You have that cocktail sauce. It's got horseradish in it. I don't actually want to know the process. This is one of those things where, like, I don't want to know how the shrimp is made because there's no way shrimp should be this big in Indianapolis, gridlock, nowhere near water, Indianapolis. But it's great. Put a little lemon on it. The steaks are phenomenal, of course. I'm pretty sure the coaching staff will have its big its big dinner tonight at St. Elmo's along with some other teams. I enjoy it. You know, if you want to go out on the town, if you want to come when the Chiefs play the Colts here, St. Elmo's is got to be on the list. I mean, there's a reason there's a photo of Andy Reid in just about any reputable restaurant in here because I kid you not, Carrington, I was at 3 establishments last night, and his photos in all of them.
Right now, we're talking to Nate Taylor of The Athletic. He is in Indianapolis for the Combine. All right, let's talk about the Chiefs. Let's talk about Travis Kelce. It sounds like he is going to come back. That is not a surprise to me. I imagine that is also not a surprise to you.
No, this is reasonable. And I think for the Chiefs, and if I could speak on behalf of them based on what has been told to me, and just what I've observed over the last 2 days is, a lot of deep breaths. Hallelujah. This man's coming back. Travis Kelce is important, even if we know his skills and his athleticism are going to continue to diminish. The Chiefs know they are a much better football team with Travis Kelce on the roster, not just as a, skilled tight end who's always going to find a way to get open most often against zone coverage, but, he is still a galvanizing, stabilizing voice, a force in the locker room that can continue to be there for everybody who needs him. And, of course, he knows how to perform in big games. It's unfortunate how the season ended, of course. Did anybody play well on offense? The answer, ladies and gentlemen, is no. But there's a lot of relief that they now know well ahead of free agency, which is the big concern, which is why I told you guys on your station, hey, March 14th, they would like to know. So there's a lot of sigh of relief and a lot of gratitude that Travis is willing to come back. He's going to come back, and they don't have to worry about that, on March 5th when they're also trying to put a plan together to really woo free agency. And, look, I know that free agency technically, ladies and gentlemen, is on March 10th. It's kind of starting right now. Did you see the report about Tom Brady and Matthew Stafford? Yeah, kids, free agency started essentially yesterday, and so it's good that the Chiefs now know with Travis Kelce coming back, you don't have to worry about necessarily his contract. That contract, I'm told, is pretty much going to stay the same. So now that means, okay, we know as much money we need to work with, what we want to do with Patrick's restructure. And again, if you are going to try to get Trey Smith and get a couple free agents and try to figure out what the hell to do at left tackle, it's better to know Travis Kelce is on the team versus that sort of looming over all of this because he still would have been uncertain about whether he was going to come back. He could have really taken it to March 14th. So Travis Kelce, once again, has done a lot for the club in the past, and he's done a lot for them this week so that they can move forward as aggressively or as flexible as they would like to be for free agents.
Are you going into this season with the expectation and belief that it's going to be Travis Kelce's final year?
Yes. The team understands that this is it. And I know some people have asked me both privately and publicly, and I'll answer it here because, again, love you guys. I love my city. Had the Chiefs won the Super Bowl a couple Sundays ago, he would not be back, is my understanding belief. He may not say that ever out loud, but based on his contract, based on, again, him knowing his importance to the team, and let's not forget this, the man loves football. And between him and Taylor Swift, I don't want to get too much into it, but, she's clearly, comfortable and supportive of his career, just like he is comfortable and supportive of hers. So that was never an issue. His desire has not necessarily changed. But, hey, man, you're going to be 36 next season. And as I said earlier, your skills will diminish. It's just how long can you stiff-arm it before it tackles you? And obviously you're a shell of, the player that we all know and respect and understand will be in Canton one day. This is his last ride. And it's comfortable that the team now knows this, his teammates know this, and he knows this. There will be a finale to all of this, and you don't have to worry, similar to what the Green Bay Packers did. I know it's a little bit different, but similar to what the Packers used to have to do with Aaron Rodgers year after year after year, where you're like, are you coming back? I don't know. Well, it would be nice to know. It's a business. The NFL just keeps rolling on. You have to plan for these things. So I thought it was fascinating that Brett Veach told, a few of us that this will be his last season. Everybody on the team is expecting that to happen. I know Travis hasn't said anything publicly yet, but even he knows his body has maybe one more good season in it. I think Chiefs fans need to get great season out of their heads, but can you be another savvy veteran who is still productive, who can stay healthy, be durable, be an option? You're not going to be the number one option. Hell, you might not be the number two option anymore, but you will help us transition the offense, and you will give some security to Patrick Mahomes because this team, in a lot of ways, still needs his voice, still needs his leadership just as much as any yards, touchdowns, catches he can give them next season.
From a financial standpoint, do you see the Chiefs doing anything with Kelce's contract? His cap hit is at $19.8 million. That's certainly a lot for a guy that you are saying isn't going to be, I guess, in the center of everything they are doing offensively the way that he's been used in the past. Do you see now with an announcement that they announced that they just kind of move some money around, that Kelce's obviously still going to get his, but it provides cap relief for the team?
That is a possibility. No one has told me that yet, which, again, is interesting because you might know more about this next week when you start to get an idea of hey, that guy's available. Hey, he might want to come through. He might want to play for us. So no one's been point blank with me on what his money is. Now, I will tell you from a Clark Hunt perspective, hey, I want to do right by you. We gave you a 2-year contract. You signed that 2-year contract. You want to play that 2-year contract? You can play that 2-year contract. It might not be the best value, but for everything you've given us, I can understand why Clark Hunt's like, hey, like moving money around so that we can have a dead cap hit, next year in 2027 or whatever. Like, it's not that big of a deal. So the only reason I believe why you would move some money or reshape his contract, and again, the Chiefs, as people know, do not do void years. They rarely do that. So if they're going to move some money around, I would assume, and again, this is a big assumption, but I would assume that's with the intention in mind of going out and getting a little bit more money to get one more player in free agency. That might not be a great player, but it'll be a mid-tier player that can fit a role that can help the team continue to have success. That's why you would change his money. But I understand that Clark Hunt is pretty, satisfied with everything Travis Kelce's done. And if he doesn't want to, necessarily move anything around in the contract because that money will be off the books, and if the belief is that Travis Kelce will be retired after the end of next season, well, you don't have any dead cap money tied to him, even though you may have moved things around to help out the 2025 team. So it's obviously a gamble to some degree, but it's not like the owner says, okay, thank God he's coming back. We got to rip up this contract, boys. I don't think Clark Hunt is saying that to Brett Veach in the front office.
Right now, we're talking to Nate Taylor, who covers the Kansas City Chiefs for The Athletic, getting his thoughts on the offseason for the Chiefs. A couple of big news. It would appear that Travis Kelce is coming back. Let's go to the Chiefs' number one, free agent, who is maybe the number one free agent in all of the National Football League, Trey Smith. You had a report earlier this week that there is a level of optimism around him coming back to Kansas City. Explain that report.
Yeah, so based on the way the cap has moved, and again, the Chiefs usually like to project things at a moderate to conservative level. So 277, and I really think if you talk to people enough around here, this thing might go to 280, boys. And if it is indeed a $280 million cap, that does a massive wonder for how you want to smooth out a 5-year deal with Trey Smith, who is, yes, as of right now at 25. And Brett Veach said yesterday, if we give him a 5-year contract, we're comfortable that he's going to even get to the 5th year. Most of the times in free agency, you would say, hey, man, that's a 5-year deal that's, really, when you look at it from a detail standpoint, that's really a 3-year, transaction where they can cut you and, yeah, you can go back into the market and get another bite of the apple. But the Chiefs understand that, Trey Smith is not the problem. And I understand when, Veach told me yesterday, why would we, if he is the best guy out there from an offensive line standpoint, and our biggest issue to everyone is offensive line, why would I not try to find a way to creatively smooth some of that cap hit out, especially in 2025, 2026, and 2027, so that I'm guaranteeing that I'm getting just about all of his prime years, he being Trey Smith, even before he gets to 30. And then again, if the cap is 280 now, well, what the hell is it going to be in, 2029? It'll keep rising, is the ultimate belief by most teams. That's why the Philadelphia Eagles have structured their contracts in a certain way where you lower the cap hit for now, but you are having it balloon while the cap continues to rise. So there's a reason that this could happen. From Trey Smith's perspective, hey, you would like to be known as one of the highest paid guys, if not the highest paid guard in your league, because you have reached, free agent status at the absolute maximum peak of your earning potential. He also wants to stay because of the success of the team. He loves Patrick Mahomes. Him and Creed Humphrey are best friends on the roster. And again, he has not been the issue. He did not play well in the Super Bowl, but again, no one on offense played better in the Super Bowl. And what I think worries Veach is trying to fill two holes at left tackle and at right guard if the guy who is your current Pro Bowl right guard is willing to work with you on a contract to stay in Kansas City. That is the simplest path toward assuring or strengthening the offensive line, or at least fortifying it, before you try to take 2, 3, 4 shots this offseason at, hey, how many guys can we bring in to have a true left tackle competition?
Nate, if you had to look in your crystal ball, so to speak, you had to look into the future, give me the percentage that you think Trey Smith resigns with the Chiefs over the next few days before we, I guess, officially start free agency. Give me the odds that he hits the market, because you and I both agree if Trey Smith hits the market, Chicago is coming with the bag. Washington is coming with the bag. Whatever team that has a quarterback on a rookie deal that needs improvement on the offensive line, they're going to offer Trey Smith over $20 million. Give me your percentage that you think he's back in Kansas City or walks in free agency.
Right now, I would put it at 70%, kids. Of course, that could change. Think about the New England Patriots. Just think about it. And I've had someone float this out to me, Mike Vrabel. I mean, come on. If you're going to go from Andy Reid, you better know what coach you're going to. Mike Vrabel's one of the better ones, kids, especially knowing how the trenches work. And the New England Patriots have a lot of money. Obviously, the Chicago Bears do. There's a number of connections. I don't have to say them out right here. I will say 70% right now. That number could go down as we get closer to March 10th, when you can openly negotiate a contract. You mean you wouldn't ever talk numbers now? I mean, while we're all together in Indianapolis, that would never occur. That would be called tampering, ladies and gentlemen. So the Chiefs feel confident. It's not as high as Chris Jones. I remember leaving the combine last year and being like, there's no way they're letting this guy get out, because they do see what other teams – they basically knew what the contract looked like from other teams, them being the Chiefs last year, based on some of the conversations that were already starting to, percolate in Indianapolis. So I would have said, hey, I'm leaving Indianapolis, and 90% of me believes Chris Jones is coming back. That's not 70, but it's still as good as you could be right now for a team who knows that, like you said, the Bears, the Patriots, there's a couple of other teams that could get involved, but you only need 2 teams. I want to remind this to people too, like, it's not about 6 offers, guys. For free agents, it's about 2. Give me 2 legitimate ones, and then we can have a real bake-off.
If you are looking, I guess, kind of looking a little further out and looking to the offseason, do you think the Chiefs can spend money on Trey Smith and also spend money at left tackle? I mean, that's spending money on all 5 of your offensive line positions. Do you think they're in a position where this team can bring back Trey Smith, which it sounds like you were leaning towards that Trey Smith is going to be on the team? You used the term 70%. Do you think that they can sign Trey Smith and be a major player for Ronnie Stanley, a Lamar Jackson type in free agency?
I don't know about Ronnie Stanley. What I pushed on is, okay, if you retain Trey, could you get and look, I don't know, I don't want to say the name, people can look him up. You can look him up, Carrington. If you re-sign Trey Smith, if you retain him, is it possible to get a mid-tier left tackle? And also, who knows, maybe bring DJ Humphries back for a year. And who knows, maybe you don't restructure Travis's money, but you might restructure, Joe Tooney's money. It's possible. So just think about that. I'm not saying it's going to happen exactly that way, but that is an avenue. That is a possibility. This is choose your own adventure time, kids. And one of the adventures you could choose is, okay, we at least have a right guard Pro Bowl player who is durable as hell, who's only getting better, and he is not the problem. And maybe we can convince one of these mid-tier guys to, do you want to play with Patrick Mahomes? And also, hey, we might not even look at a tackle in the draft because we also have DJ Humphries, who was with the team since November, and he wants another opportunity to compete for the starting job. I reported that last week as well. So, there's still Kingsley Suamataia out there. There's still a Wanya Morris. It could be a 4-man, walk around the gauntlet and see who wins the battle. That could happen. That's one avenue. That's one choose your adventure. And again, kids, that one don't even involve the draft because there's the Chiefs thought they had a chance to go get a left tackle in the first round last year. They don't even think that this year.
Nate, if you had to pick, let's say Brett Veach comes to you and says this. Hey, I can get Ronnie Stanley for this amount, and I can get Trey Smith for the exact same amount, which I think they'll sign for about the same. I think they'll be somewhere in that $20 to $23 million range. I can see them getting very comparable deals. Which one would you rather have? Would you rather spin big at left tackle and go get Ronnie Stanley, or keep the continuity you have from left guard over to right tackle with re-signing Trey Smith?
Who's the younger player?
Trey Smith.
Who's the more durable player?
Trey Smith.
Who's the more athletic player right now?
Trey Smith.
Yes, that's my answer. And and by the way, like, do we know he works in the system? Which player do we know works in the system that we have right now? Because we're not changing anybody in the coaching staff. I asked that to Andy yesterday. You're not really changing the scheme. I mean, there's going to be tweaks and stuff, but you're not like overhauling anything. Matt, I just saw Matt Nagy earlier today. Like, so who fits the system right now? Like, I think the answer is pretty simple. And one could argue objectively that there is a higher risk with Ronnie Stanley because of the injury history and because of the age. And look, playing left tackle is a demanding position. I mean, every position is demanded in the NFL, but you need stability there, and you need durability there, and you need some god-awful level of consistency. And there's not a guarantee that if you sign Ronnie Stanley, you can get that. It's possible, but it's not a guarantee. There's nothing in the Trey Smith file that's really unassailable. I mean, which again is why he's one of the highest coveted free agents.
Nate, what are you hearing about Nick Bolton?
You want me to be honest?
Yeah, of course.
I haven't heard a single thing.
That doesn't sound good.
His name has not come up. Now, I will poke around tonight, and so maybe it's like, maybe I'm, a little focused on some other things, and that's understandable. Like, you can't get to everything. You can't get to everyone. But hadn't heard anything on him yet. I've heard more on Charles Omenihu, like Chris Jones wants Charles Omenihu back. You can basically put that in Eat Kids. And by the way, Charles Omenihu wants to come back. The Chiefs would love Hollywood Brown to come back. You probably know the Buffalo Bills will maybe offer more years or more money or some combination of the two. Hadn't heard a thing yet on Nick Bolton. And that's not I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing, but it's just his name has not popped up in a manner that I would have anticipated this far into the combine. So I will do my best, dig around, see what I find. If I see and hear something, I'll let you know.
Actually, you know what? I go back when I said that that's not good. I would say that if you want to retain Nick Bolton, that does sound good because it doesn't sound like he's one of the hot names that are out there. Usually the guys that are going to get paid, they're usually the guys' names who are being floated around. And
there's some truth to that.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, like, you covering the Chiefs, being in Indianapolis, the fact that I would say, Trey Smith is obviously their number one free agent. Nick Bolton is their number two free agent. So it doesn't sound to me like Nick Bolton is getting $15 to $18 million a year if no one is talking about him.
Yeah, he would. I think that would be a surprise. Again, my question is he in the 14 to 11 range, or is he more in the 9 to 7 range? I don't know. I'll have to, again, poke around and get some people's thoughts on it. The other thing, too, is everybody should salute Justin Reed. And I could potentially push back that, yes, Trey Smith is one. It might be Justin Reed as two. Safety play in this league has not been great of late, kids. And you know what? I know someone who's durable, still pretty young, a championship player, knows his role, can tackle extremely well. Like, struggles in coverage, but, a lot of safety struggle in coverage in this league. That's not really dependent on trying to put a cap over things. So if you want a, pretty good defensive player who can elevate your unit, Justin Reed might get more buzz right now than Nick Bolton. And that's more due to position and the fact that, it's one thing to go on free agency and get a bite of the apple and be like, okay, you've made it. Your job is secure. Your career has sort of been certified at another level. It's a whole nother thing when you fulfill the contract you signed and the team only went to the Super Bowl every year you were there. And again, durable, smart, healthy, talented, tackler, good dude, leader, competitor. So there could be an argument to be made that maybe it's like, Nick Bolton and then like a version of Justin Reed and Hollywood Brown.
That is our guy, Nate Taylor, joining us on the show today. He is in Indianapolis, keeping his ear to the ground. Nate, man, we appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot for popping on today.
Yes, thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. That is Nate Taylor joining us on the show today. Really good stuff for him as he is down in Indianapolis. I did pick up on something as we were talking to Nate. We'll keep that conversation going on the other side. I think we know what the offensive line is going to be. I'll tell you what it is. Keep it right here, Sir Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
March is almost here, and college basketball is reaching its most exciting stretch of the season. Right now, new customers on FanDuel get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 wager wins. That's $150 extra bucks to bet on everything from conference clashes to tournament upsets to even who you think is going to cut down the nets. You guys know I like my Missouri Tigers, and I got a feeling this could be the year that they make a deep run in the tournament. So don't wait anymore. And if you've been waiting to join FanDuel, there's no better time than the present. The app is easy to use, and when you win, you'll get paid instantly. So visit FanDuel.com/KFNZ, use my promo code, and get in on the March basketball action. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus batch, which expires 7 days after street restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement Kansas Art Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Love what you drive on a daily basis when you go to Max Motors. 7 locations in Kansas and Missouri, including Harrisonville, Clinton, and Belton. And right now, a new 2024 Jeep Gladiator is up to 30% off MSRP. Stock number S240162. Must finance with dealer lender. Offer expires 3/3/25. They are simply the best in the Midwest. The best financing options available at Max Motors with the max trade-in values in the Midwest. Max Motors, the easiest place to buy a car. MaxMotors.com.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey. More like Mirajoyed. That Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
What would you do if you could go back in time with the tap of a button?
Watch the ancient Egyptians build the pyramids?
How'd they do it?
Buy enough Bitcoin to purchase your very own private island.
Or maybe just skip the joke that flopped at the holiday party.
Unfortunately, we haven't figured out how to rewind time, but you can rewind live shows with the free Odyssey app.
Never miss your favorite sports talk again. To get started, download Odyssey and search for your station.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
and dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic is brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Debris in the roadway at northbound 71, just past Swope Parkway. That's stopping traffic. Also got some more debris closing the right lane of northbound 435 and Truman Road. Metro Ford off Nolan Road in Independence is your Ford F-150 headquarters. Right now, get over $13,000 in savings off select new XLT Ford F-150s. When's the last time you saw deals like that? These trucks are moving fast. Hurry to Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. See dealer for details. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Chiefs fans, it's Hollywood Brown. Welcome to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, a couple of news and notes for those of you that are big UFC fans. UFC is coming back to Kansas City, actually 2 months from today. April 26th, you will be able to watch UFC down at the T-Mobile Center. So for those of you that are interested in that, go check it out. I actually saw a post earlier today from T-Mobile Center. It's going to be a busy weekend down there. They're going to have, get this. Now, if you want to talk about knowing your demographic, they have a PBR event, UFC, and WWE Raw 3 straight days down at the T-Mobile Center. Now, I'm assuming they're all owned by the same people. It just makes a lot of sense to me why you would coordinate it. They're also going to sell you like a package if you're doing it. Really smart idea. I'm assuming there's a lot of carryover between fan bases of those 3 things, between bull racing, fighting. I don't know what it is. I never seen it before, but it seems like it's very popular. WWE and also UFC. It's going to be here coming up in 2 months. Rob, is that something that you're interested in? I will attend the UFC event. I've been to the 2 before that we've had. They're pretty cool. They're fun. I don't mind going to them. WWE Raw, I think I might actually go to it just because I'm curious how different it is now that it's on Netflix. PBR, I will not be attending. I will not be down at T-Mobile Center for that one.
You're not going to triple dip? You're not going to go hit all 3?
I'm not doing the triple dip. Some of you are going to do the triple dip. I'm not going to be part of the triple dip.
If I were to rank my interest, PBR is last. I think I've seen the UFC in town. They don't usually bring like the people I know.
No, yeah, we ain't getting the big time fights.
Yeah, so I've seen it. It was people I've never heard of, and I've seen it. I've never been to a WWE event, so I think Raw would be the most interesting one for me to go see of the 3.
I actually do like UFC events. As somebody I am a uber casual of UFC. I could maybe name 5 fighters in the UFC. The energy behind it is really good, and what I think is very different from boxing. Like, I like the skill, the back and forth of boxing. The brutality of UFC is really interesting, and the fight can change a lot faster than in boxing. Sure, you can get knocked out in one punch, but we've seen boxing. That's not really how it works. Like, guys you're not losing the whole fight, and all of a sudden you just get one punch and then drop the winner, and that's how it ends. No, that's what happens in UFC. You can be getting dominated. You can then catch the person with one good punch. You get them off balance. You get on top of them. You start playing the bongos on their head, and then you are the winner in the fight. So I actually, I will be checking out the UFC. I think it will be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. That will be April 26th. So how they have it is PBR will be the 24th. The UFC will be the 26th, and WWE Raw, they will be on the 26th. They are calling it the TKO Takeover. So I would imagine they are all owned by the same people. And the Saints, they have just announced that Derek Carr is going to be their starting quarterback for next season. I can't imagine less exciting news for the upcoming football season than making that announcement. I cannot imagine it. Man, hey, this is going to be our offseason, man. We got some cap space. We're going to go out. We're going to make some moves. We got a new head coach. It's going to be our year. Oh, wait. We're bringing back the same quarterback? Okay, well. You know what? I look forward to the Saints for the third consecutive year being a sleeper in the NFC South to not go anywhere. They're always a sleeper. Hey, you know who my dark horse is in the NFC South? It's the Saints. I think they can win that division. They won't. Nope. Derek Carr will throw 19 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Alvin Kamara will have a decent year for your fantasy team. I mean, they got guys. They're just, they're not going to go anywhere. The Saints will not be a good team this year. They made that announcement. It's kind of crazy to think that your season is over on February 26th, but that's where the New Orleans Saints are. At least they got to host a Super Bowl this past year, so congratulations to New Orleans. Let's get back to the Chiefs. We know what their offensive line is. I know, Rob, you want them to swing big and go get Ronnie Stanley, and you want them to quit putting Band-Aids at left tackle, and you want this big grand move on offensive line. I don't think that's what's happening. Nate Taylor, who is, we agree, as plugged in as any local reporter on the team. I don't say local as a knock. He's a local reporter. There's nobody more plugged in than he is. He's telling you 70%. They're pretty optimistic about it. They really want to get this done. They really want him to come back. Well, if he comes back, that's 80% of your offensive line is done. It's done. And you also are not this offseason. You are not signing Ronnie Stanley and signing Trey Smith. You could sign one of them. They're not signing both of them. So if they're telling you that they want Trey Smith, you know what I would get ready for? I get ready for DJ Humphries at left tackle. I would start to get ready for it. You are not signing Alaric Jackson. You are not signing Dan Moore Jr. That money that you could have signed those players with, you have decided to give that money to Trey Smith. That's what you have decided. They're going to go with the offensive line from the Chargers game. DJ Humphries, Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, Juwan Taylor. They are going to give DJ Humphries a full offseason to get healthy and get right and hope that he can hold it together for one more season. Now, maybe they draft somebody, and maybe they also bring in another veteran for competition. But if you were thinking that left tackle was going to be their number one priority, I think that anybody that is reporting on the Chiefs is telling you left tackle is not their number one priority. It's actually right guard. It is retaining Trey Smith and keeping the interior of their offensive line together. That appears to me to be their number one priority. So I know after the Super Bowl, everybody was all mad and upset, and they let the offensive line go. How could they let this happen? They think the offensive line situation is fairly solvable. They think it's fairly solvable. Move Joe Thuney back to his normal position. DJ Humphries is going to have a normal offseason. We think he can help us. That appears to me early on to be their plan about the offensive line. How do you feel about that plan as somebody who wants Ronnie Stanley in the Chiefs uni?
I mean, I dislike the plan because I'm very, very tired of, and again, I'm not doubting Nate's reporting. 70% is more likely than not. It does feel like Trey Smith's going to be a Chief. There's still, 14 days, 12 days for March 10th when the legal tampering window opens, and if the Chiefs don't have him locked up by legal tampering time, then it could get a little bit scary hours if you're a Trey Smith fan because the Patriots and Bears will be talking numbers the Chiefs probably can't keep up with, but let's just say Trey's back. I don't like it. I don't. For a team that has told me over and over again, keeping Patrick Mahomes upright is our most important thing. Why are you continuing to be cheap at the most important offensive line position? Ever since Orlando Brown Jr. didn't sign that extension, whether it be because it was fake money or a bet, whatever. Ever since he didn't put pen to paper and then eventually left, they have put big resources into every offensive line position except for one, and it's left tackle. And last year, even before the Super Bowl, we were having conversations about how the Achilles heel could be the left tackle because Wanye wasn't a solution. Kingsley definitely wasn't a solution. 3/4 of DJ Humphries was a TBD. We just do not know what we don't know. And Joe Thuney was good enough, but it was good enough against, lesser competition up until the Bills game where he had a good game and then got exposed in the Eagles game. I'm just, if offensive line is the key to winning with Patrick Mahomes, why are we so cheap at left tackle all the time? Just why? Why are we paying the highest paid center? Why are we paying the highest paid guard? Why are we likely going to restructure and make Joe Thuney more guaranteed money at left guard? And why is Juwan Taylor out there making a big contract to, be a false start king? It doesn't make any logical sense to me, but me and Brett Veach do not see eye to eye on this one. If that is the plan, I dislike the plan.
What if their plan is this? A lot of plans in this segment. What if their plan is this? We're going to go Band-Aid for 2025, and then in 2026, when Juwan Taylor contract is off the books and we have another big-time deal to sign, that's when we'll go get our left tackle.
You mean the same year they'll have to get Trent McDuffie re-signed and George Karlaftis?
Maybe they do that this offseason.
You think it's going to be money aplenty that offseason?
I'm simply telling you, I don't want you or Chiefs fans to be disappointed because, and I understand it, after they lost the Super Bowl to Tampa Bay, everyone was on the same page. Everybody was on the same page. I don't think that everybody is on the same page about what they should do this offseason. That makes it very different than the last time they lost in the Super Bowl. Everybody was telling you, left tackle, right tackle, rebuild the offensive line. I don't think that they view it that way. I really don't think they view it that way. I think they think the offensive line, for the most part, is fine. We're going to bring back Trey Smith. We're going to move Joe Thuney back to his normal position, and we think we can get by for another year at left tackle. And this is something that we can either try to address in the draft or we'll wait to spend the big-time money. The real culprit here is the Juwan Taylor contract and their inability to do something with it. They can't do anything about the Juwan Taylor deal. So maybe the plan originally was to have Juwan Taylor play left tackle. That's what we thought when they first signed him, and then he hasn't been able to do that. But I just don't want you guys to be disappointed when the day one of offseason comes together. They end up signing Trey Smith to a 4-year, $95 million deal with $40 million guaranteed. They then announced that DJ Humphrey signed a 1-year, $8 million deal, and you guys were like, wait, that's it? Yeah, no, that's it. They're not doing anything else. That's their plan for the offensive line. You can agree or disagree with the plan, but if they sign Trey Smith, they have told us what their intentions are for the upcoming season. We can keep this conversation going, 913-586-7965. We just had Nate Taylor on the show. He believes there's a 70% chance that Trey Smith is back on the offensive line for the Chiefs. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Fellas, are you feeling sluggish, maybe a bit tired, or just not feeling like yourself? Maybe your workouts aren't producing the results that they used to and you're not getting that great quality sleep. If you're noticing changes, then it could be low testosterone. Low T affects more than just your energy levels. It can impact everything from your workout performance to the intimacy in your relationship. Well, here's some great news. Heartland Men's Health is here to help you. It's simple to get started. Take a quiz at heartlandmenshealth.com to see if you might have low T. Then schedule a $99 consultation where you'll get lab work and results in just 30 minutes. And if you sign up for treatment, then your visit is free. Don't wait any longer. Feel like yourself today. Call Heartland Men's Health, your partner in better health. Call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website, heartlandmenshealth.com today. Heartland Men's Health, Kansas City's trusted choice for low T treatment.
What if your business could see beyond what is and into what can be? What if you could create more impact in every decision? What if you had a partner as visionary as you are? With Bank of America, you get access to our trusted experts, real-time insights, and digital tools. So whether you run a local shop or a global enterprise, you're backed by business solutions to make every move matter. What would you like the power to do? Find out how at bankofamerica.com/banking for business. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026.
Hey there, Kansas Lottery here.
and we want to get together for a game or two. Meet us at your favorite retailer or wherever you like to buy your tickets, and we can let the games begin. There's a lot of fun and cash on the line. See kslottery.com for details.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299.
After you use Bounce Dryer sheets and realize how fresh, soft, less wrinkled, and less staticky your laundry can be, you'll put a sheet on it every time. Like those socks that smell like they've been through a marathon. Put a sheet on it. Or that blanket that's got wrinkles on its wrinkles. Put a sheet on it. Maybe even your chatty coworker who keeps distracting you. Okay, Bounce Dryer sheets can't do it all. But for fresher, softer, better laundry, put a sheet on it with Bounce.
Spring forward with real unlimited data from Straight Talk this tax season and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. So you can stream games during Mad March hours, check the weather for April showers, and watch gardening videos about May flowers. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
And dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic is brought to you by KRT Muscle Cream. Stalled car stopping traffic, 169 highway southbound at the on-ramp from Vivian Road on the northern side of the metro. And a stalled car also stopping traffic eastbound lanes of 70, the exit to 40 highway. A body in motion stays in motion until you feel that first muscle tighten. KRT helps you get back in action with all natural pain relief in just minutes. Learn more at krtrelief.com. That's krtrelief.com. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Welcome to your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, coming up at the top of the hour, there are some potential changes coming to the National Football League. We'll talk about it more in depth. I do want to finish our conversation on the Chiefs, and then I promise you we'll get to the changes that are happening in the National Football League. We are talking about left tackle right now. We had Nate Taylor on the show at the top of the hour. Here's the percentage chance that he thinks that Trey Smith is back on the team next year.
Right now, I would put it at 70%, kids. Of course, that could change. Think about the New England Patriots. Just think about it. And I've had someone float this out to me, Mike Vrabel. I mean, come on. If you're going to go from Andy Reid, you better know what coach you're going to. Mike Vrabel's one of the better ones, kids, especially knowing how the trenches work. and the New England Patriots have a lot of money. Obviously, the Chicago Bears do. There's a number of connections. I don't have to say them out right here. I will say 70% right now. That number could go down as we get closer to March 10th, when you can openly negotiate.
So that was Nate Taylor joining us on the show earlier. He's putting it at 70%. 70% that Trey Smith is back. I believe the Chiefs are telling you what their offensive line is going to be for next season. I think it has been made known that their number one priority is to bring Trey Smith back. And if you bring Trey Smith back, 80% of your offensive line is on their second contract. And for Joe Thuney, his third contract. Your left guard has been paid, your center has been paid, and your right guard has been paid, and your right tackle has been paid. There's not a lot of room left to pay left tackle. So you're either going to have to do it with a cheap rookie contract, which is a possibility. This is early in the offseason. Maybe the Chiefs' plan is to trade pick 31, a future first-round pick, and move up and get their left tackle of the future. Maybe that's the plan. We're figuring the plan out. Or their plan is to retain DJ Humphries on the low. DJ Humphries is probably a 1 year, $8 million player. Incentives can get him to $12 million. You aren't getting one of the impact players that way. Someone on the text line, 913-586-7965. C-Dot, what I would do is I would eat the Juwan salary. I'd move Kingsley to right, move Thuney back to guard, and give Humphries a full season to be the left tackle. They are not cutting Juwan Taylor. You want to know why I know they're not cutting Juwan Taylor? Juwan Taylor, his dead cap hit is $34.7 million. They don't save any money by cutting Juwan Taylor. In fact, they lose money from a cap perspective and what you can do by Juwan. Juwan Taylor is going to be on the team. Now, at the end of this upcoming season, they can get rid of him. His cap hit then goes from $27 million, and his dead cap is then $7 million. You can do the math. They save $20 million if they cut Juwan Taylor at the end of this upcoming season. They're not getting rid of Juwan Taylor. He's on the team. There's two guys I know are going to be on the team next year. Patrick Mahomes and Juwan Taylor. Anybody else? Chris Jones. Anybody else? You can convince me. Those people will be on the team. It doesn't make any sense financially for them not to be on the team. They will be on the team. So, again, you might not like the answer to it. I'm not saying that I love the answer to it. My job is to tell you what I think they will do. I think we know what the offensive line is. I don't think they're heavily investing. I don't think they're spending a lot of money at the position, at least from a cash perspective. They could do so over the draft. They could do so that way. I don't think they are going out there and doing it. I don't get it. I am a little bit surprised. I think for the most part, the Chiefs have done a really good job with positional value. I think they've done a really good job. Why they have locked up so much money in left guard and right guard is not how I would build my team. It's not what I would do. Me and Brett Veach obviously have a different philosophy when it comes to building talent and how you build a roster. But spending, I'm looking at their cap, and we could like really go through the percentages. They're going to spend probably 15% of their cap by the time it's all said and done. They're going to spend 15% of their cap on left guard and right guard. That's not how I would build my team. But they seem optimistic that they're going to bring Trey Smith back. So if there's one thing the Chiefs have shown they will spend money on, it is offensive and defensive line. They believe in building through the trenches. I know it didn't look like it a couple Sundays ago, but they believe in building through the trenches. And I believe we will see more of that this upcoming season. Rob, I guess we can start this conversation about some of the changes, and then we'll get to this. Buffalo has won again. Carrington, what do you mean? Well, let me explain. This is according to basically everybody that covers the NFL. So they have been working on this technology called Hawkeye. It's been in the works since 2021. It is basically using technology to determine a first down. You guys know that we do it the way of the dinosaurs. We do the chain gang. You come out there, you got the two guys with the sticks, you extend the sticks, you see if the person got it or not. They are trying to use technology to determine whether or not you get a first down. Well, the plan seems to be in motion. The Hawkeye virtual measurement for the first down marker to gain is slated to replace the chains as the primary measurement system for the regular season in 2025. Now, they will still have the chain gang, but that is going to be on the sidelines as a backup. So it will still be there, but they are going to use technology to determine whether or not you got a first down. Now, I'm not going to be against the technology of figuring this thing out. I would only caution, I don't think that this is going to 100% solve this problem. I don't think it's going to solve it. And why I think it's not going to solve it is, when do you blow the whistle? When does your forward progress and momentum stop? I think there's going to be way more questions than we put a chip inside the football or we have the technology to determine on whether or not you got a first down. I think it's going to be way more complicated than that. So we can talk more about that coming up on the other side, but Buffalo gets their way again. They lose the first time. Let's change the overtime rule. They lose the second time. We have been developing this technology. Now let's use this technology. That will be the 2025. Also, some news of notes. The NFL announced that they have not proven that there has been a injury as a result of the tush push, so they are not getting rid of it. The only way you are getting rid of the tush push is a couple of ways. Either you get 24 teams to vote to get rid of it, and I don't think they would get the vote of 24 teams. Philadelphia would not vote for it. Buffalo would not vote for it. I don't think there'd be enough teams that I think it would be pretty split. Now, they would get some teams to vote against the tush push. It would not be a overwhelming majority of teams that would vote against it. They're also about to start using technology to determine a first down, and they're also considering changing the overtime format, where basically what we have in the postseason would now be just the standard. They have the old system for the regular season games and the new system for the postseason. They would change that to ensure that both teams get a possession. We'll see if they end up doing that. There are a couple more changes, and I'll let you know what those are. There are some rules coming out regarding the National Football League. We'll continue to get to them. Keep it right here. So drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic is brought to you by KRT Muscle Cream. Stalled cars stopping traffic, 169 Highway southbound at the on-ramp from Vivian Road on the northern side of the metro. And a stalled car also stopping traffic eastbound lanes of 70, the exit to 40 Highway. A body in motion stays in motion until you feel that first muscle tighten. KRT helps you get back in action with all natural pain relief in just minutes. Learn more at krtrelief.com. That's krtrelief.com. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
March is almost here, and college basketball is reaching its most exciting stretch of the season. Right now, new customers on FanDuel get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 wager wins. That's $150 extra bucks to bet on everything from conference clashes to tournament upsets to even who you think is going to cut down the nets. You guys know I like my Missouri Tigers, and I got a feeling this could be the year that they make a deep run in the tournament. So don't wait anymore. And if you've been waiting to join FanDuel, there's no better time than the present. The app is easy to use, and when you win, you'll get paid instantly. So visit FanDuel.com/KFNZ, use my promo code, and get in on the March basketball action. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expires 7 days after street restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement Kansas Art Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Pheasants Forever's National Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic is coming to the Kansas City Convention Center this March 7th through the 9th. Join us for puppy and dog training seminars, a youth village for kids, pollinator and wildlife habitat hunting gear in the 20th anniversary of Quail Forever. It's National Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic the weekend of March 7th. Presented by Pheasants Forever, Quail Forever, and Federal Ammunition. For more information, Log on to pheasantfest.org.
When you think about Kansas City, you think about barbecue. And when you think about barbecue, you think about Smokehouse Barbecue. From their amazing baby back ribs to their world-famous hickory pit beans and Cajun butter chicken wings, Smokehouse has been my family's go-to for barbecue for years. You can dine in or carry out at their 3 locations in Zona Rosa, Independence, and Gladstone. Check them out at smokehousebbq.com. That's smokehousebbq.com. For over 35 years, locally owned and family operated, it's Smokehouse Barbecue.
At Diamonds Direct, we believe luxury is an experience and not a price tag. Luxury is expert guidance. It's the selection of 10 jewelry stores under one roof. It's saving time on endless comparison shopping, and you'll only find this experience at Diamonds Direct. Our luxury showroom has it all backed by our lifetime warranties and our signature best price guarantee. Diamonds Direct is the perfect combination of luxury and value, so you don't ever have to compromise. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-514-1026 if you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns. Help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-514-1026 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-514-1026 to see if you qualify. That's 800-514-1026.
Men, this is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and you've heard me talk a lot about how treating low testosterone can improve your sleep, your workouts, your energy levels, and more. But today I want to talk to you about your sex drive, because low testosterone can have a significant impact on your desire for intimacy. It can even be a factor in erectile dysfunction, and if you're in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, a low sex drive could really be a problem. The good news is that if you're like most guys, treating your low testosterone could really change the way you feel about sex, giving you back the flame and desire that is so important when you love someone. So if you're feeling sluggish and tired, if you're not sleeping well, if your workouts aren't that great, and most of all, if your sex drive is more like a putt, make an appointment at Heartland Men's Health and have your testosterone levels checked. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Spring break travel plans? Park & Go makes airport parking easy. Open 24/7 with all covered spots. Rain or shine, your car's protected. Reserve now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family owned, customer approved.
This is the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your new home for Royals baseball. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Welcome back to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. So let's get to the top stories right now in the National Football League, as what happens every year around the Combine is we get new rules proposals that are thrown out there. Now, the league was trying to get rid of the tush push. Only one team voted against it, though, and it was the Green Bay Packers. The league said they would look at it. They have now announced that they could not prove that an injury had taken place as a result of the tush push. So if only one team voted against it and they can't prove that it is a dangerous, unsafe play, they are not getting rid of the tush push. It will once again be on our television this upcoming season. There were some other changes that are being proposed right now to the NFL. One that I think is pretty minor is there is a different overtime rule in the regular season and the postseason. They are just going to adopt the postseason format. That's it. I'm not here to complain about that. I don't care. The regular season.
Does that mean
one's
ties
fine.
are gone, though?
No.
Because the NFL in the regular season, you can tie.
Well, they're going to have a time for it, and then if no one wins, you can still have the tie. So they're going to change it where the current time is 10 minutes. They're going to go to ensuring that both teams get the ball. They're going to expand it to 15 minutes, and then if it's tied after the 15 minutes, then obviously it is going to be a tie. So that's a fair question, but I at least wanted to explain that. So, yes, you can still have ties. So, tush push in. They are going to change the overtime rules, it looks like. What I think is the biggest rule change is going to be this. They have a technology called the Hawkeye. It is a virtual measurement on determining whether or not you got a first down. They are planning on using this as the primary measurement system for the regular season in 2025. So how we determine on whether or not you get a first down now is the spot. The referee spots the ball, they go grab the chain, they measure it with the chain, and you go from there. They are going to use technology to now determine on whether or not you got a first down. Now, we've talked about this in the past, but there is no time quite like the present to let you guys know how I feel on this issue. I think sports has a perfection problem. I think that sports, and this is not just football, this is basketball, where you can't watch a college basketball game without them constantly stopping it to review the monitor. They review the monitor for everything. Did this guy get elbowed? Did this guy step out of bounds? Did this guy touch the ball last? They're constantly going to the monitor because they want to make sure that they get the call right. They do this in football. They have also now expanded what you can replay, but you can only replay something that a flag is thrown. Well, you and I watch the NFL. There's plenty of times that penalties happen. A flag isn't thrown that you would love for them to review it. How many times have we watched a play where we thought something was roughing the passer, but they didn't throw a penalty? Well, they're telling you now you still can't review those plays to see if a penalty actually occurred. I think that this is bad for the game. And I know what the default is. They've told us, well, I just want them to get the calls right. We've had instant replay for 20 years. Do you guys feel like they get the calls right? Do you feel like the game is well officiated? Do you feel like constantly stopping it in basketball has made basketball a better or a worse product because of it? I mean, you got the call right. That's all that matters, right? Getting the call right is the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter that we stopped this game and now made it where it was an hour and 50-minute game. We've now made it a 2 hour and 30-minute game, and we're still not sure if they're getting the calls right. I think that sports has a perfection problem, and it is chasing a measure of perfection that you can never reach. This technology is not going to fix this problem. We will just find a new thing to argue about, and probably related to this. When does forward progress stop? When does your movement stop? Well, the defense, but you kept pushing. When do we determine that it starts and ends? I think with every measure of technology that we have added with sports, we have just created a new problem based off that technology. And I get it. No one wants to acknowledge that the other team was simply better than your team. So the call's got to be right. Call's got to be right. That's why we didn't win. The call wasn't right. Okay. All right. Maybe I'm the only person on this side, and I can live with it being on this side. I don't know why we're afraid of the human element. I don't know why, even though we all have technology in our regular everyday lives that fail all the time, I don't know why we think that somehow the technology that constantly fails us in our regular life is now going to be perfect in this. That has never made sense to me. And I think all we've done is create new problems now around this technology that is constantly changing. I think that we need to narrow the focus of instant replay, not expand it. When instant replay first started, the original objective of instant replay was to change clear and obvious mistakes. We all watch sports. That is not what the purpose of replay is today. It is not to change things that are clear and obvious. because we watch basketball games where they constantly rewind it to see if the ball went off a guy's shorts or went off a guy's fingertips. And we spend 4 minutes of zooming in on super HD 9K to see if the ball went off a guy's finger. And in the end, we're all like, man, I don't know. I mean, I guess, I don't know one way or the other. I've told you guys this from the beginning. I do not know if Josh Allen got that first down or not. Maybe you are emphatic. Yes, he got it. No, he didn't get it. The league is cheaters. The league got it 100% right. I don't know. I don't think that this change is going to change that for us. I really don't think so. I don't. Again, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that the league and us as consumers are in search of something that will never be the case. We do this in basketball. We're trying to do this in baseball. They're now letting you challenge balls and strikes. That's what we want sports to be. It's a controversial 3-2 right on the black. We want to stop the game to see if that's a ball or a strike. That's what we want baseball to be. Okay. I'm not saying that the officials are perfect. I have my issues with the officials like everybody else. I don't know if sports is a better product and a more enjoyable watch because of all of the technology that we have. I don't think that it is.
Listen, I agree with you. Like, the end of a college basketball game is awful. It's unwatchable at times. But with the Hawkeye, allow me to be devil's advocate for a minute. Do you know what sport actually nails instant replay? There's one. Tennis. Tennis does an incredible job with instant replay. Is it possible the Hawkeye technology the NFL is implementing could make it more like tennis? Because in tennis, I know we don't watch tennis like that. You watch Wimbledon, you watch one of the big ones, guy challenges, you get a 3D rendition, out, in, done. It takes a minute, maybe two. Now, as opposed to the chain gang and challenging the spot, we think it's just, and we know in the blink of an eye. If the Hawkeye technology is like the tennis technology, is it possible this is better for the game?
Yeah, but this is where, and I'm not going to make it seem like I'm some tennis wizard. I'm not a tennis wizard by any means. I don't know if there is as much to officiate in tennis. It seems very simple to me. We have put something and technology in the ball to determine if this ball hit said line. That is all we are challenging. Maybe they are challenging something else. You guys tell me. I don't claim to know everything about it. But every time I have seen it, they are only reviewing one thing. We are able to see if this green ball touches this white line. That's it. That seems pretty straightforward to me. Yeah, it did. No, it didn't. Okay, cool. Let's move on. That's not what we're reviewing in basketball. We're reviewing everything in basketball. We're reviewing if your foot was on the line. We're reviewing if you got the ball out of your hand on time. We're reviewing if it was a breakaway foul. We're reviewing if you purposely tried to elbow the guy. In tennis, they're reviewing one thing. In basketball, they're reviewing 12 things. In football, we have questions about everything. We want everything reviewed. We want a spot of the ball reviewed. We want pass interference to be reviewed. There's just so many different things, and we all have been in this situation. We all are very knowledgeable football fans. I don't have any knowledge about the NFL that you guys don't have when it comes to some of these things. I watch football. I think I have a good understanding of what's a catch and what's not a catch. Have you ever been sitting there with your friend who also has the same level of knowledge that you do, and you see something, and you guys both have differing opinions on what happened? You guys are watching it from the same couch, the same television. All your conditions are the same. Rob, have you ever been watching basketball with somebody? You and that person have the same understanding of what a block and a charge is, and you guys disagree on what a block and a charge is. We've been doing this since the beginning of time. I don't know why we think that technology is going to 100% solve those issues and get 100% accuracy on those things. I don't know why we think that. But we will just constantly keep changing the rules. Constantly keep changing it. Someone on the text line says baseball is simple. It's fair or foul, safe or out, ball or strike. I disagree a little bit on balls and strikes for this reason. I do think that there is a measure of widening the strike zone, and I don't know if you want to completely eliminate that perfect pitch that's on the black. I don't know if you want to do that. I don't know if you want to watch baseball where you can't get the corners. So I think some of it is just, it's sports. It's sports. Do other things. Win the game. I think we were trying to insert technology too much into the sports that we watch. And I'm not really sure if it has made us happier as sports fans and as consumers watching it with the amount of technology they are trying to insert into the game. We can keep this conversation going. I also want to play some of Adam Schefter. He was making the rounds earlier today on Pat McAfee's show. He gives us an update on all the top stories in the National Football League. There's a lot of them. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 5.25% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
6.19 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Folks, it's time to rev up your engines and get ready for a wild ride for Ford Truck Month. And who better to bring you all the excitement than my favorite Ford dealer in Kansas City, Rob Sight of Rob Sight Ford in South Kansas City. Hey, Rob, what's going on?
Hey, Kevin, there are a lot of F-150s out there, but you're not going to find a better deal than Rob Sight Ford's $15,500 off brand new F-150s. That's right, $15,500 off. These savings only happen during Truck Month at Rob Sight Ford, so now is not the time to wait.
Rob Sight Ford is on fire.
Best price and best inventory at Rob Sight Ford. So many F-150s in stock. Don't wait because they won't last long. Biggest savings, best trade-in offers, all part of the Kevin Harlan VIP experience at Rob Sight Ford.
And I appreciate that. Like I've said before, Bobby, nothing compares to the quality and the professionalism at Rob Sight Ford.
Rob Sight Ford, 135th and State Line, ROBSIGHT.com.
Basketball fans, don't miss the MIAA Basketball Championships March 5th through 9th at Municipal Auditorium. 18 games over 5 days, the nation's best small college basketball tournament will feature some of the nation's best Division II teams. Get your tickets now through Ticketmaster and visit odyssey.com/965thefan/events February 20th through 24th to register to win free tickets. MIAA Madness March 5th through 9th. Bring your A game.
And Doug.
Quickly, Moo. We don't have much time. This Liberty ad is already almost over. We only have a few precious seconds to remind people to customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Okay.
Well, I guess we had more time than I thought.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has green-lighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify by dialing 800-426-0177. If you or your business owe at least $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Call Tax Help USA to get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-426-0177. 800-426-0177. That's 800-426-0177.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-352-9239. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-352-9239. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-352-9239. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-352-9239. 800-352-9239 or biglou.com.
Tonight will be clear with temperatures reaching a low of 38.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Robert Half's recruiting professionals use their award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. Learn more at roberthalf.com/talent today.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Traffic brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Brake lights into downtown via northbound 35, almost back to the state line. Off and on brake lights over the Bond Bridge in both directions. And seeing some slowdowns heading into the 435 and 70 exchange via eastbound 70. Metro Ford off Nolan Road in Independence is your Ford F-150 headquarters. Right now, get over $13,000 in savings on select new XLT Ford F-150s. When's the last time you saw deals like that? These trucks are moving fast. Hurry to Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. See dealer for details. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Chiefs fans, it's Nick Bolton, MIZ. Welcome to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into The Drive on 96.5 The Fan. This is the last thing I'll say about the officiating. I'm not 100% against instant replay. I simply want instant replay to get back to the original purpose. The original purpose of instant replay was to fix clear and obvious mistakes. Sometimes we are watching sports and it is obvious. The referee calls the ball incomplete or calls something a catch, and it is very obvious to us, oh, that hit the ground. That's what I'm in favor of. But what I think has happened is we stopped just trying to fix the black and white plays, and we started to try to fix all of the gray area plays. And you'll never be able to eliminate them from sports, ever. You will never be able to eliminate them from sports. You will never have a 100% consensus on what you and I think is a block and a charge in a basketball game. We will never reach that. So I'm fine with just, hey, let's accept the call and let's keep playing basketball. Let's keep playing football. Let's keep the game moving forward. And that is just not the way that I think the sport is officiated or called today. That's my biggest problem with the way that sports are currently officiated. All right, let's move on. Let's hear from Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter was on the Pat McAfee show earlier today, breaking down some of the top stories in the National Football League as we are heading closer to the start of the new league year. Here is Adam Schefter talking about what the future could look like for Matthew Stafford and for Aaron Rodgers.
With Aaron, I think we start with the fact that you have to see where Matthew's going to go. Is Matthew going back to L.A. or is he not going to L.A.? Because if he's not going to L.A., I'm sure that L.A. appeals to Aaron Rodgers. That would be my guess.
Okay.
And you would know probably better than I, but I believe that Aaron wants to play. I believe he wants to play at least another year. I believe he's got a chip on his shoulder that he wants to come back and play this upcoming season and show people that he still has the juice and still can get it done. So I think he's going to play.
So that was Adam Schefter of ESPN talking about Matthew Stafford and Aaron Rodgers. Couple of things. I guess let's start with the first side of this story. The best place for Matthew Stafford is in Los Angeles. Their argument is this. Matthew Stafford wants A. They only want to pay him B. So now Matthew Stafford is mad. He's mad that the Rams aren't going to pay him what he wants to be paid and is now openly flirting with other teams. And they've allowed him to flirt with other teams. Hey, if you are not happy with the deal, I mean, we're trying to make you still a very, very rich man. But if you want to go play for the Las Vegas Raiders because they're going to pay you a little bit more, or you want to go play for the New York Giants, hey, be our guest. I think ultimately cooler heads prevail, and I think that Matthew Stafford stays in Los Angeles and continues to be the starting quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are throwing out some nonsense. They're talking about they'd be fine with Jimmy Garoppolo to be their starting quarterback this year. No, you won't. What year is it? Am I being punked? It's 2025. What team in 2025 is going to be happy that their week one starting quarterback is Jimmy Garoppolo? That's a team that's telling me they have no interest of competing and trying to win a championship. You can't have it if Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be your starting quarterback. You go from having arguably one of the top 8 quarterbacks in the National Football League to having like the 27th best quarterback. You ain't serious. You are not a serious group. You are not a serious bunch if you were thinking that. Second point on the docket and on the agenda. Who does Aaron Rodgers think that he is? Aaron still thinks he's that guy. You think that you can determine what team you're going to play for and who you're also going to bring in and tell them that they should hire? This is not the Jets. The Jets already tried that. Hey, who do you want as your wide receiver? Oh, you want Randall Cobb? Oh, bring him. You want Alan Lazard? Bring him. You want Devontae Adams? Sure, of course. Who do you want to be your offensive coordinator? Oh, you want Nathaniel Hackett? Of course. Whatever you need, Aaron, we want to make you as comfortable as possible. What do we want to do? We want to make you as comfortable as possible. You guys won 5 games. You now think you can leave the East Coast and then go to the West Coast and run the same Ponzi scheme? No. We got the internet, my friend. We have the Googles. We know what happened with the New York Jets, and we're not letting you come over here. Maybe we'll hire you, but we're not doing this. You can bring in your homeboy. You can hire your cousin. Your guy gets to be the trainer. No, that's not how this works, Aaron. I can't believe Aaron thinks he's just going to join a team and, hey, this is who I'm bringing with me. What? We're getting with one old, aging, 30-year-old broken down receiver in Cooper Kupp. We now want to sign another one? I don't want Aaron Rodgers to go to the Rams. I want Matthew Stafford to realize, hey, I got a good situation here. I really do. We won a Super Bowl. We got a beautiful stadium. It's warm. I was in Detroit. That man spent 13 years of his life in Detroit in the winter. You deserve this for the back 9 of your career. Play for the Rams. It's great. It's beautiful. You got a good coach. You're in a great division. Why would you want to go play for the Raiders? For the Giants? Couldn't be me. I just want to know who Aaron Rodgers thinks that he is. I don't know. I think that Rodgers is about to be humbled. I don't think the Steelers are very interested in Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he's going to play for the Rams. I think that he is about to be humbled on what team he goes to play for. I think his options are going to be Tennessee or the highway. I saw a post earlier today. It was from U Stadium. And the post said, some rumors we got from combine circles, 2 players who are available via trade or once cut, Aaron Rodgers and Deebo Samuel. So Deebo Samuel, the Niners came out today and said, hey, we're going to honor his request. Deebo says he wants to go play for another team. We are happy to make sure that that is the case for him. The Niners and Deebo Samuel, their relationship has ended. So this tweet says, 2 players who are available via trade or once cut, Aaron Rodgers or Deebo Samuel, don't have as much interest as you'd expect. These other teams have the internet. Deebo Samuel, you've had 1 good season in 5 years. You had 1 good season, and you're being paid like you're him. You're not him. You're not. So, no, we're not super interested in trading for you and absorbing that contract. Aaron Rodgers, you haven't been good in 3 years. You're 40 years old. You came off a significant injury. We also question your commitment on if you want to be here or not, or if football is your number 1 interest. Last season, during practice, you left to film a Netflix show in Egypt. That's a fact. You can go check it out right now on Netflix. Scroll past Squid Game Season 2. Aaron Rodgers left mandatory practice to film a Netflix show. I don't know if I'd be super interested about you coming in to be our quarterback for 1 year either. So, Aaron, I don't know what team you're going to play for. I would advise you to tighten up a little bit. If you want to stay in this league, if you want to be a valuable starter in this league, I don't think you're going to the Los Angeles Rams. Matthew Stafford, please wisen up. Please. You're going to be playing. You're going to be going 6-11 next year for the New York Giants. I don't want that for your future. I really don't.
Can we talk about Stafford for like 2 minutes here?
Yeah, of course.
I know you love Matt Stafford.
I think he's great.
Matt Stafford is due to make $23 million this year. He last year was the epitome of mid. Like, just blah. I know this team made the playoffs, and, if you make the playoffs, you get some sort of, immunity from being blah. But he had 20 touchdowns and a quarterback rating of 93 last year. Aaron Rodgers is a circus. Aaron Rodgers is a sideshow. Aaron Rodgers is a lot of bad things. But let's not act like Matt Stafford wanting to keep the money that's getting made is somehow in the right and the Rams wanting to rework his deal are in the wrong. Paying $23 million with a cap hit of 49, by the way, 23 is his guarantee, for a guy who throws barely 20 touchdowns and throws 3,700 yards is a lot of money to invest in a 40-year-old mediocre blah type of quarterback. I don't blame the Rams for saying, we got to rework this deal, and if you don't want to rework it, we're going to trade you, because Stafford is not the long-term solution or even the best possible option at quarterback. So I'm Team Rams. 3 years ago, when Matt Stafford was putting up 41-17 and 4,800 yards in L.A., hey, take your $23 million. Don't let him flirt with other teams. Hey, the games, if you want him more, you got to pay more. But now, him being like, well, if you don't want to pay that number, trade me. Yeah, the Rams should absolutely be trading him.
I'm with you. I would not be interested in reworking the Matthew Stafford deal. That would give him a lot more money. I'm with you. He is 37 years old. He's 37. I still think he's shown you he can be good when he needs to be. The team that matched up best this postseason, not offseason, the team that matched up the best this postseason was not the big, bad, mighty Chiefs. It was the Rams. The Rams had the ball in the red zone. Their quarterback took them down the field. They had a chance to win that game. Stafford is still a viable quarterback in the league. But I agree with you. I'm not super interested in giving Matthew Stafford a whole lot of new money. Let me play this really quickly. We can keep the Matthew Stafford conversation going. Here is Adam Schefter talking about a lot of teams have put the call in, and a lot of teams will be interested in Matthew Stafford if he was truly available.
Giants interested, huh?
Well, there's a lot of teams interested.
Yeah, but I've heard that it feels like the Giants are the ones, right, that are like super interested.
I think they're all interested.
Everybody's super interested.
I think everybody's super interested. Hell yeah.
In Matthew Stafford. Any teams that we have not brought up yet?
No, you've run the gamut.
Raiders, Giants, Steelers.
And others have checked in. Others have checked in, but I think I view that as kind of the playing field, so to speak.
None of those teams are a better situation than where you already are. And that includes Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is certainly the best option out of those other options, for sure. No question about that. I'd much rather go to the Steelers than go to the Giants. No. I'm not interested in going to play for the Giants. They haven't been good since Mario Manningham was in the league. Not super interested in them. The Steelers would be the best option. I don't know if the Steelers would trade the compensation to go get Matthew Stafford, but, I mean, it would give them a short-term fix at a position that they clearly need. Speaking of old quarterbacks, because they are just in the news right now, here's the latest on Kirk Cousins.
And I know the Falcons have said all that they said. The Broncos said something similar last year about Russell Wilson, and then they wound up releasing him. And I'd be surprised if Kirk Cousins is in Atlanta this season, however it plays out. I mean, that I just don't see it that way. But if they want to pay their backup quarterback more money and sink another $10 million in guaranteed money into him, then I guess he can be there.
So what happens? He gets entered into the quarterback sweepstakes that are happening?
Well, the thing is, he's got a no-trade clause.
You see.
So he would have to sign off on it. He could veto every trade. So eventually, I think the Falcons are going to have to release him.
I have looked into the future. I have summoned all of my NFL knowledge to tell you how this Kirk Cousins story ends. He goes to play quarterback for the Browns. The Browns need Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins needs the Browns. So his contract situation would be almost identical to what happened with Russell Wilson when he left the Broncos. The Broncos ate a significant amount of money to get Aaron Rodgers gone. Russell Wilson took a small amount of money because he was still getting paid from the Broncos. The Browns have a lot of money locked into Deshaun Watson. A lot of money locked into Deshaun Watson. And it is in their best interest to go cheap at quarterback for at least the next 2 years, get the Watson contract off the books, and then move forward. The cheapest, best option is going to be Kirk Cousins for this upcoming season. You don't got to pay him anything. If the Falcons end up releasing Kirk Cousins, which I think ultimately will happen, he will have made $90 million to play one season for the Atlanta Falcons. He can take the veteran minimum for this upcoming season. He can take it. The Falcons are already paying your salary for this year. They're paying it. Go to the Browns. You'll start for sure. The Browns have good pieces. Nick Chubb, they got decent receivers on the outside. They got a capable defense. It makes a lot of sense to me. Now, I would be very curious to know what Kirk Cousins looks like outside, especially in that division at his age. His arm looked cooked with the Falcons. And you're playing in, 2 stadiums that have a dome and warm weather place? This was at the end of the season. He looked done. What does that arm look like late in the season in Pittsburgh? What does that arm look like late in the season in Baltimore? What does it look like in their home games once you get past October? So I would have my questions about Kirk Cousins. But if you're Cleveland, beggars can't be choosers. Beggars can't be choosers. Take the lifeline. Go get Kirk Cousins. Sign him to the veteran minimum deal. Sign him for the low. Sign him for the cheap. And hope and pray that you can be competitive next season. That's how this story is going to end for the Cleveland Browns.
That's how it's going to end. That is the end-all, be-all solution. But isn't that exactly what the Steelers just did? Hey, we're going to have a young quarterback. They brought in Justin Fields, and we're going to have him learn from the guy we got on a veteran minimum, which is, in this world, Kirk Cousins, and their world is Russell Wilson. And we're going to strive to be 9-7. We're going to strive, or 9-8, 10-7. Our goal is first round exit. That's the dream scenario. It won't happen because NFL teams don't think this way. NFL GMs don't think this way. NFL head coaches don't think this way. You know what the Browns should really do? If they were really committed to this thing, they should draft a quarterback, play him for 16 games, cut Deshaun Watson at the end of next season, and take what comes. If you go 3-14 with Shedeur Sanders, hey, at least you're getting Deshaun Watson off the books. If you're, oh, we're a spicy 8-9. Then you have your quarterback of the future. But you got to eat it for a year. Kirk Cousins mentoring Shedeur doesn't make you better. Deshaun Watson didn't make you better. Sometimes you got to have a hard reset, and that's what the Browns need. And if we're being real honest, they should hard reset because next year's quarterback draft is probably better. It can't be worse.
I don't disagree with you, but the thing that I think we have to factor in is usually those hard resets mean they hard reset the coach and the general manager. So if you're the general manager, can you afford to take your medicine, per se? Let's say they do exactly what you're saying. Hey, we're committed to this young guy. We're going to give this young guy the opportunity. You and I both watch the NFL. You go 4-12 and 5-11 these next couple of years with Shedeur Sanders, you ain't getting a year 3. You're getting fired. You're getting fired. Nobody wants to get fired. Certainly not from a job they paying you millions of dollars to do. I'm trying to keep this job. So I think that's what that fear, I think usually is what keeps teams in line to, oh, well, we'll have Jimmy Garoppolo this year. You will? The Jets are talking about having Tyrod Taylor to be their starting quarterback this year. Some teams are telling you in February, we don't plan on competing this upcoming season. The Saints are not planning on competing this year. The Jets, if they start Tyrod Taylor, they are not planning on competing this year. Jimmy Garoppolo, you ain't competing. We can already cut some teams out of the list. You ain't making the playoffs with Tyrod Taylor in the AFC. I'm sorry. I don't even got to be a psychic to see that. You ain't making the playoffs in 2025 with Tyrod Taylor. You weren't making the playoffs with him in 2015, let alone now when you got Hall of Famers up and down the list. Go get Kirk Cousins. Go get Kirk Cousins. And if you want to do the plan where you're looking ahead, you're drafting a quarterback, you're developing behind the scenes, I get it. The best thing that Cleveland can do for this upcoming season is if you don't think Shedeur is the guy, which I would not draft Shedeur with the number 2 overall pick. I draft Shedeur maybe at 22. I draft Shedeur at 32. I'm not spending the number 2 overall pick with them. I go get a guy that I think is the best football player on the board. I go get Kirk Cousins. I try to be viable. I try to be competitive. I try to tread water while we are still sinking under this Deshaun Watson deal. That is the worst contract in the National Football League. Coming up on the other side, we are off a little bit early today because of K-State basketball, so we'll do the hits. Keep it right here, so drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund is belong to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax-confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Real stories with Hellsberg.
After we met and we started dating, Nancy and I lived 150 miles apart, and I would drive my old jalopy car, and it was roughly a 3-hour distance. It took 3 years I drove across that state, back and forth, dating her every weekend.
Persistence.
And I would have never stopped. I had a lot of energy back then, 36 years ago.
At Hellsberg, find the engagement ring worthy of your story. Designed with the love, care, and craft it deserves. Visit a Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com.
Hello, Kansas. Looks like we're in for another heat wave this season with a forecasted high of up to $300,000. That's right, the Kansas Lottery is bringing the heat with the Hot Sevens family of tickets rolling across our state. You could instantly win up to $300,000. Plus, there's even a chance at up to $20,000 in the second chance drawing through Play On. Talk about a scorcher. Don't forget your oven mitts when you head out today. See kslottery.com for details.
March is almost here, and college basketball is reaching its most exciting stretch of the season. Right now,
New customers on FanDuel can get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's $150 extra bucks to bet on everything from conference clashes to tournament upsets and even who's cutting down the nets. If you've been waiting to join FanDuel, there's no better time. The app is easy to use, and when you win, you'll get paid instantly. So visit FanDuel.com/Alex and get in on the college hoops action before March takes over. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
A body in motion stays in motion until you feel that muscle tighten. KRT helps you get back in action with all natural pain relief in just minutes. Learn more at krtrelief.com.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place. For changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund has belonged to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
2-car crash with 3 right lanes closed, southbound 35 just before 27th Street. Heavy into downtown as well, and southern lanes of the downtown loop out of downtown via northbound 35 over that Bond Bridge, and northbound 71 also seeing slowdowns into downtown. Got that 2-car crash northbound 71 right at Meyer that is also stopping traffic. Money back guarantees, parts and labor warranties mean you aren't just buying products, you're securing your investment. For a limited time, receive a free furnace when you purchase an AC. Schedule your complimentary proposal online at anthonyphc.com. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Patrick Mahomes joins CDOT every week during the season, right here on 96.5 The Fan.
All right, we are off today in about 10 minutes. K-State has a game that tips off at 6, so we're off an hour early. I'm pretty sure this is the last game that's going to be preempted by K-State. They got another one? The Big 12 tourney?
They are at UCF tonight, East Coast game, 6 o'clock tip. Next Wednesday, the 5th, they're at Cincinnati.
Oh, I didn't know.
East Coast, 6 o'clock tip. Then Big 12 tournament, TBD. And then, well, never mind. I don't have to worry about the real tournament. We were knocked off the air for that.
Wow, that was...
Well, that's why I wonder if they're going to be the West Coast, like what region will they be in? And then I realized they're under 500, so that can't happen.
That's crazy. K-State, there was no reason for that. We've had a good day with K-State. We had their women's coach on the show today, Jeff Mitty. We had a great day with K-State. Now you're taking shots. They're not going to be in the tournament.
I'm sure Coleman Hawkins is disappointed by no tournament. He'll have to cry into all his millions.
I'm going to K-State's game on Sunday. I'm going to be at K-State, Colorado. I'm going to be in Manhattan.
You're going to go to K-State, Colorado?
What do I need to do? What's the vibe like in Manhattan?
Don't show up.
What's the vibe in Manhattan, Kansas? What do I need to be doing? Did I ever tell you the one time I went to Fake Patty's Day? I ever tell you that story?
You hated Fake Patty's Day, right? Which doesn't exist anymore. It
was one of the worst experiences of my life.
Before I hear the story, have you heard like the little infighting in the K-State community that they're all mad about Fake Patty's is different now and the cops are
How
cracking
are you mad
down?
at college kids for being college kids? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. What are they doing? It's that crazy in Manhattan? Are they just hanging out and drinking? Isn't that what they do in college? I don't know. I did hear about it.
What made your Fake Patties so bad?
I just realized I was too old for this.
I say, what age, let me ask first, what age were you at Fake Patties? So I've done Fake Patties. I was 21.
This wasn't that long ago. I wasn't going down there for the purposes of Fake Patties, but it was the same weekend. So I was at like Dean Wade and Barry Brown. I went to their senior night. I just wanted to see them. You know, they were going to win the Big 12. I was happy to see another team win the Big 12. So I was a fake K-Stater for a day. It was actually kind of fun to be a K-State fan for a day. So I drove down there, and it was the same day as Fake Patties. So I got down there a little bit early because, like, the game, I think, was at, like, 4 or 5 or whatever. So I ended up getting there, like, at 1. I'm like, oh, you know, hang out. We'll get something to drink, get something to eat, you know, have a fun time, and then go to the game. I looked around, and Rob, this is not an exaggeration. It was just Carhartt jackets, country music, and 2000s rap. And I realized this ain't for me. This is not my scene. I don't think I've ever been to a basketball game that early. I went to when you go to a game when they start showing the countdown, I got there, it was 90 minutes on the screen. I watched K-State warm up 3 separate times. You know what? I'm just going to sit here. I'm just going to be on my phone. I'm okay. I don't have any interest in ever going back to Fake Patties under no circumstance. I don't want to go. It's not my thing. It's not for me. I'm not the intended audience for Fake Patties Day.
You saw them warm up 3 times.
I'm serious. Crazy. You know how they do.
I mean, that's correct. I get it.
In college basketball, if you get there early, you get to see a lot of warming up. It's a lot of jumpers being shot. It's a lot. I was there. The band wasn't even playing by the time they let me in. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to go down. For those of you that know Manhattan, they got that little wing stop in Aggiesville. Let me go down here. Let me go and get a little 8-piece. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go to the game. I'm going to go ahead and go in there a little bit early. That was my K-State experience as a K-State fan. I like K-State. I know you guys think that I don't like K-State, but an enemy of an enemy is your friend. I don't like KU. They don't like KU. So we have a common thing, and I don't root against K-State.
You might like them, but have you read the message boards? I don't think they like you.
You know how when people are like, oh, I got an AFC and an NFC team. That's what I'm like. I have an AFC team and an NFC team. I want K-State to win. I cheer for K-State. They're not my team, but I do want them to do well, and I'm definitely a bandwagon fan. If they're good, I'm cheering for them. When they're like this, I mean, I don't know how I'm cheering for them. I got my own problems to deal with. I got to inherit your problems? No, I'm not doing that.
Going to watch K-State play Colorado on a Sunday that's dedication to the craft.
Yeah, I'm going.
You have now seen once you get that done, you will have seen all 3 teams
in person.
In person, look at that.
No, in person. And then next week I'm going to Missouri, Kentucky.
There you go. You're going to go see Jeff Mitty's crew too?
I am going to go see a little Jeff.
Is that at T-Mobile now? I think they moved that to T-Mobile. Good for the Big 12.
I mean, I'm here to support local. That's what I am.
Have you seen the Roos yet?
I have, actually. I'm going tomorrow, actually, to see the Roos, too. I'm going tomorrow to watch the Roos. They play Denver tomorrow. So, yeah, no.
Is it at Sweeney?
Yeah, it is. I went a couple weeks ago to Sweeney Rec Center. UMKC games are actually very fun. It caught me off guard how fun it was when I went. I was like, oh, wow, this is actually a really good time. It was very, very fun. I would highly encourage you to go out and watch UMKC basketball. Fun product. Enjoyable. Support your hometown. That's the theme of this show. Support your hometown. All right, Rob. I said we were going to get to the hits, and then we were just talking about basketball. I apologize. That's my fault. I mean, the only top story is Travis Kelce's coming back, and the Chiefs might sign Trey Smith to a deal. So you didn't really miss that much if you just tuned into the show. You're not that far behind. All right, we'll be back tomorrow, our normal time, our normal shift. Take care of yourself. Have a great rest of your night.
The Drive.